Alert! Alert! JoJo Siwa is no longer a lesbian. I repeat, JoJo Siwa is no longer a lesbian. JoJo has said, F the L in LGBT. I ain't about that L life. I think JoJo has been taking so many L's in her career recently that she's decided to completely excise the letter L from her life entirely. Because you can't take L's if you don't identify as an L. Which is why I identify as a lesbian. Yeah, I'm widowy a lesbian because I only take W's. Please kill me. And when I say that JoJo has said F the L in LGBT, I mean that literally. When she was a contestant on the show Celebrity Big Brother, JoJo said, "Being here helped me realize that I'm not a lesbian, I'm queer. Fuck the L, I'm going to the Q." Now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with experimenting with your sexuality and realizing that a label or a sexuality that you used to identify with no longer suits you. Just as an example, I used to be attracted to turtles, but then I realized that that was just a phase, and now I'm not attracted to them anymore. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with realizing that you don't want to consider yourself a lesbian anymore and now you just want to consider yourself queer. But I do think that saying fuck the L comes across as a little bit disrespectful to lesbians, especially when you pair that with the fact that in the past JoJo has said that she finds the word lesbian gross.
Like the word itself. It's just like lesbian. It's just like a lot. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I am. So it's like, it just is, it's like the word moist. It's just like, ugh.
Lesbian? Gross. What a disgusting word. Gay, bisexual, pansexual, queer. Beautiful. Lesbian? Ugh, makes me wanna fucking puke. So in my opinion, it makes sense why a lot of lesbians do not like JoJo Siwa, because JoJo Siwa tried to put herself up on this pedestal like she's the queen of lesbians, and then she allegedly mistreated a bunch of her lesbian partners, and then she said that the word lesbian is gross, and now she said fuck the L. Something I think people don't always recognize is that misogyny still exists within the LGBT community, just like misogyny exists everywhere in society. And because lesbians are women-loving women, I think sometimes lesbians can be put on kind of like the bottom of the totem pole within the LGBT community because of the misogyny towards women. I hope I'm not sounding like your friend who's too woke when I make this point. So I understand why some lesbians get defensive when people say that they find the word lesbian gross. Like, does she find the word lesbian gross just because it's like an icky sounding word, or does she find it gross because she's dealing with some level of internalized misogyny? Anyway, thankfully, JoJo is now finally free from this disgusting label of lesbian. She has broken free from the chains of lesbianhood, and now she is finally allowed to date men. And because she can now date men, she's decided to date 32-year-old Chris Hughes. JoJo Siwa has not only broken free from the chains of feeling like she can only date women, she's also broken free from the chains of feeling like she can only date someone from her generation. Let me take a minute to thank today's sponsor, Saley. As an American citizen living abroad in Australia, one of the biggest annoyances is making sure that I have cellular data when I travel back home. Sure, you can buy one of those travel SIM cards, but you have to wait in line and then open up your phone and fiddle with this tiny card and try to fit it inside and hope that it works and hope you didn't get scammed by someone selling you a fake card. It's just incredibly annoying and inefficient. I wish there was another way. Well, that's where Saley comes in. Saley offers convenient eSIM cards that are available for over 200 different locations. Literally, all you have to do is download the Saley app, select a plan for an eSIM for whatever country you're traveling to, download that eSIM to basically any iOS or Android phone, and voila! You've got access to cellular data in whatever country you're traveling to. And for an incredibly affordable price, you never have to worry about fiddling with outdated physical SIM cards ever again. Saley's eSIMs also have a built-in ad blocker, which can help you reduce the amount of data you use by up to 28%, and you can earn Saley credits when you shop online, which can help you save money on your next plan. Saley also offers 24/7 support and a full refund if for some reason it doesn't work on your device. So click the link in the description and use my discount code RyanBeard for 15% off your Saley plan. You can either download the app and then use my code RyanBeard at checkout, or go to saley.com/ saley.com/RyanBeard. That's saley.com/RyanBeard for 15% off your data plan. And help yourself stay prepared for the next time you travel with Saley. JoJo met Chris on the set of Celebrity Big Brother. Her time on this show was very eventful, to say the least. While she was on the show, JoJo was attacked for her sexuality by the boxer Mickey Rourke, who said a bunch of homophobic things towards JoJo, like calling her the F-slur and saying that if she stayed on the show for more than 4 days, she wouldn't be a lesbian anymore because he would tie her up.
If I stay longer than 4 days, you won't be gay anymore.
I can guarantee I will still be gay and I will still be in a very happy relationship.
I'll tie you up.
Obviously, this was fucking disgusting behavior from this dude, and thankfully he was kicked off the show. And after this happened to JoJo, Chris came and comforted JoJo, and then the two of them became close. She eventually started flirting with Chris and cozying up to Chris, and she even shared a bed with him at one point, even though JoJo had a girlfriend at the time. So basically, in response to JoJo being attacked for being a lesbian, she cheated on her girlfriend with a 32-year-old man. Part of me feels like it's not great that on national television, JoJo responded to being attacked for being a lesbian by immediately dating a man, because this kind of plays into the narrative that lesbians can be converted if they just meet the right man, which is exactly what Mickey Rourke was claiming when he attacked her in the first place. But another part of me just feels bad for JoJo, because being attacked for your sexuality can fuck with your head and make you start to second guess yourself. And again, just because you identify as a lesbian at one point, that doesn't mean that you owe anyone anything, and you should be allowed to feel free to change your labels whenever you want to. And also, this dude who's 10 years older than her swooping in to rescue her after she gets attacked for being a lesbian feels a bit weird to me. So all in all, I would say I mostly see JoJo as a victim in this whole situation, except for the fact that she chose to cheat on her girlfriend on live television, which there is obviously no excuse for. If you decide that you want to revoke your lesbian card and start dating men, you should probably wait until you've at least broken up with your current girlfriend. After the show, JoJo went on to start a relationship with Chris. From what I can see on social media, it seems like they're happy together, but JoJo has also seemed happy with a lot of her partners in the past, when behind the scenes she was allegedly treating them like shit. Maybe eventually she'll decide to cheat on her current boyfriend with a 42-year-old non-binary, so she can complete the trifecta of genders and the trifecta of age ranges. Recently, in an interview, JoJo said that in the past, she felt pressured into identifying as a lesbian. When I came out at 17, I said I'm pansexual because I don't care about gender. But then I kind of boxed myself in and I said I'm a lesbian, and I think I did that because of pressure. In a weird way, I think it came a little bit from the LGBT community at times, from people I know, from partners I've had. You just get put in this world where you feel like because you now have said, oh, I'm a lesbian, you have to be a lesbian. And the truth is, sexuality is fluid. So according to JoJo, the LGBT community pressured her into identifying as a lesbian. I mean, if there were people in her personal life that pressured her into calling herself a lesbian, that is obviously bad, but I don't really know what that has to do with the LGBT community. Like, if you had some white people in your personal life who are pressuring you to eat coleslaw, I don't think you would be being pressured by the white community. I think you would just happen to be being pressured by some white people. And in the same way, if some weird people in JoJo's personal life pressured her into calling herself a lesbian, I don't think that has anything to do with the LGBT community as a whole. The LGBT community does not give a fuck whether or not JoJo Siwa calls herself a lesbian or queer or bisexual or pansexual or whatever the fuck. From what I've seen, the LGBT community wasn't pressuring you to be more of a lesbian. They were pressuring you to stop making lesbians look so fucking cringe. And they wanted you to stop putting yourself up on a pedestal and acting like you're the queen of the lesbians and like you invented gay pop just because you released one terrible song.
It's not about being comfortable for me with being the face of the LGBTQ young demographic, young age, younglings. It's about being honored with that. It's something that I've been appointed by, not myself, by just the world, calling me a gay icon, calling me this generation's icon.
JoJo, you are not this generation's gay icon. You are this generation's gay lolcow. I'm sorry. And look, I'm not someone who likes playing into lolcow culture on the internet, and I don't think anyone should bully JoJo Siwa, but also she clearly enjoys playing into all of this controversy for attention. Like, I get it if JoJo felt bad because she didn't feel super welcomed into the queer community, but basically any community is not going to be super welcoming towards someone who comes across like they have a massive ego. That's not a queer thing, that's a human being thing. If someone joins the gaming community and then immediately says that they're the next gaming icon, but then they're shit at video games, the gaming community isn't going to be super welcoming towards them. Maybe I'm reading too far into this, but this statement feels like a little bit of a middle finger to the queer community because they didn't accept her as their new queen of gay pop. So now she's decided to throw the LGBT community under the bus and say that they pressured her into being a lesbian when this is obviously not the case. And JoJo should be aware that there's this massive narrative in society that LGBT people are trying to pressure everyone else to be LGBT. So JoJo, I'm sorry if someone in your personal life pressured you to call yourself a lesbian, but maybe don't attach this to the LGBT community as a whole, because I can promise you that literally none of us give a fuck whether or not you call yourself a lesbian. So now, after there's been all this controversy because JoJo cheated on her girlfriend and now she's dating a man and she's rejected the label of lesbian, now her latest controversy is that she decided to dress up like a trad wife Marilyn Monroe and rasp out this cover of the song Betty Davis Eyes.
And she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. She's got Betty Davis eyes.
She's got a Betty Davis eyes.
This performance kind of reminds me of the song Closer from 2016. You know that song that's like, baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover. You know that song? Why does this performance remind me of that song? Because JoJo sounds like a chain smoker. JoJo, I promise you, it does not make you sound better when you huff down a whole pack of Camels right before pressing record. Part of me wonders, does she have this gravelly tone because she thinks it makes her sound cool and unique? Or does she sound like this because she just doesn't have a good vocal coach to teach her how to sing properly? Maybe a little bit of both. All I know is that if she doesn't change something soon, she's gonna end up sounding like that fucking worm from SpongeBob.
Start rubbing me with that chocolate.
So now that JoJo sounds and looks like a chain-smoking grandma and she's dating a man, does this mean that she has fully rejected the LGBT community and accepted her God-given role as a trad wife? No, I don't think so. She still says that she identifies as queer, and it's not like she's decided to reject her career as a singer and dancer to become a stay-at-home mom or something. No, honestly, I think some people online have been sensationalizing this story a little bit. I don't think JoJo is identifying as a trad wife now just because she decided to dress up with a 1950s aesthetic for one music video. Like, Sabrina Carpenter likes to dress up with this sort of dolled up vintage aesthetic sometimes, and people don't accuse her of being a trad wife. Well, actually, based on the backlash she got for her recent album cover, I guess some people kind of are accusing her of acting like a trad wife. But anyway, no, I don't think JoJo Siwa identifies as straight now, or that she's a trad wife now because of this music video. But I think JoJo is smart enough to know how all of this comes across, and I think she's kind of leaning into it to create controversy, kind of like how Trisha Paytas did in the past. Like, I think she definitely knew that it would cause controversy for her to follow up her announcement that she's dating a man with doing a music video looking like a 1950s housewife. I think she plays into stereotypes to create controversy. When she was in her lesbian era, she couldn't just act like a normal lesbian. No, she had to be the most over-the-top stereotypical lesbian that you've ever seen in your entire life. And now that she's getting backlash for dating a man after cheating on her girlfriend, instead of dressing up like a normal man dater, she decides to dress up like the most stereotypical housewife of all time. And of course, conservatives are using this to play into their narrative that they're winning the culture war because women have decided to stop being woke. Pop star JoJo Siwa's rebrand from a radical lesbian lesbian activist to a straight trad girlfriend needs to be studied. We all know why this really happened. Woke is dead. Nature is healing. I don't think I need to explain that the idea that wokeness is dead because JoJo Siwa dressed up looking like Marilyn Monroe for one music video is obviously fucking stupid. JoJo Siwa is not the arbiter of wokeness. Woke people don't like JoJo Siwa. Woke people were the main ones dunking on her when she was doing this cringe shit. But you're right, Benny Johnson. Conservatives have won the culture war. Now, can we all stop arguing about culture war bullshit and just give everyone healthcare? Anyway, I hope that JoJo is happy in her new relationship. Exploring your sexuality is not something you should ever feel ashamed about. No one should ever feel ashamed for dating a man just because they identified as a lesbian in the past, just like no one should feel ashamed for dating a woman just because they identified as straight in the past. At the end of the day, labels around sexuality are very arbitrary. Some people have tried to deny that I'm a real bisexual because I've never dated a man, even though I've only dated one person in my entire life and I've been dating her for 9 years. So if anyone was pressuring you to feel like you needed to call yourself a lesbian, fuck that bullshit. The reason why people refuse to consider you a gay icon like you want them to is not because you don't want to use the label of lesbian. It's because you have a massive ego, you have a history of allegedly hurting children, you have a history of allegedly mistreating your partners and cheating on your girlfriend, and you have a history of pissing off the lesbian community because you say stuff like fuck the L and that you think the word lesbian is gross. But at the end of the day, the main reason you're not considered a gay icon is because you're just not talented enough to be one. Criticizing JoJo Siwa always feels kind of complicated to me because on the one hand, she is fully responsible for her own actions. She is an adult now and she should be able to take accountability for the dumb shit that she's said and done. But on the other hand, I do feel bad for her because ever since she was a little kid, she has been constantly taken advantage of by the older people around her. Abby Lee from Dance Moms treated her like shit. It seems like her own mom is kind of exploiting her for fame and money. Mickey Rourke on Celebrity Big Brother was super homophobic towards her, and now she has this dude who's 10 years older than her who has swooped in and is being her knight in shining armor. It feels like every step of the way she's been surrounded by older people who just want to profit off of her and don't really see her best interest at heart, and this can obviously really fuck with a young person's head. I mean, there's a reason why very few child stars end up being normal, well-adjusted people. And she's also been pretty cringy and kind of shitty with stuff regarding her sexuality, but having millions of people constantly scrutinizing your sexuality can also fuck with your head. And it sucks that she can't just experiment with her sexuality in a normal way that everyone does growing up without that being commented on by millions of people, including me. However, again, she is an adult and she's responsible for her own actions, and I don't think anyone is above being made fun of. But I always believe that we should treat every human being with empathy and with nuance, and I think the real villain of this story is the Hollywood system that chews up and spits out child actors and doesn't treat them like they're human beings. So, JoJo, I just want to say that I believe that you should be seen as a human being. Actually, psych, fuck that. Last year, you decided to falsely copyright claim my parody song, so fuck you. You do not deserve to be seen as a human being. You deserve to be seen as a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. It would mean the world to me if you would consider supporting me on Patreon or maybe becoming a member of this channel. In a few days, I'm gonna be posting a video responding to this dude who claims that he has comprehensively debunked trans identity. I think the video turned out really interesting. It's more of like a technical, philosophical deep dive into the concept of gender identity. And I think it'll be really fun to post more videos like this that don't necessarily fit on the channel. I really wanna be consistently putting out members only content to make sure that the subscription is worth your while. It really means the world to me, giving me a little bit more financial security while dealing with how crazy up and down this job is. Also, my grown-ass lesbian merch is still available and I've linked that down below. I released this along with my parody song making fun of JoJo Siwa last year. I've gotten really great feedback on the designs and on the shirt themselves. There's not only grown-ass lesbian shirts, but also grown-ass shirts for basically every sexuality and gender you could imagine. So even though JoJo Siwa might sadly not be a lesbian anymore, you can still show your lesbian pride with my grown-ass lesbian merch. Alright, I will see you guys next time.